Alright, so decided to do a little more work on the Atlas 6x6. Let me show you what I got so far. I've had a lot of trouble with this truck, so I'm just going to try to run it the way it is here. Eventually I'll work through it, but it's taken me quite a while to get this far, and I'll explain why. Alright, so there's the current state of the truck. I got the bed and stuff off over there. What I'm attempting to do is put Scx24 axles on the back. Should be a pretty straightforward thing. Well, I bought these Endura center drive shafts, which they should be fine. I had to leave the red ones on there from the Cheyenne because this one over here, the U-joint or whatever, the yoke, whatever, I cannot get off. The screw is stripped. I'm not screwing with it anymore. I already decided. Over here, where you put the screw in, I've got a short screw on one side that does not go all the way through to the other side. I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe I can get it rotated around so you can see it right there. There's nothing there, but there is on this opposite side. I have no idea why that is so cattywampus. These are brand new axles. This one went in just fine. It literally took me like 30 seconds to put it together. That side as well. This is the pass-through that I put in on the Scx24. For some reason, this one over here, it's got to be something with this center drive shaft or whatever. It's all marred up and scarred up and stuff, so I'm assuming the metal got twisted somewhere or whatever, but I was just going to go ahead and change it out, but I can't get this other side off, so I'm kind of stuck with it for right now. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm going to put the tires back on it. Hopefully I got the alignment correct and I don't have to move any aft axles or shift them, because I'm trying to stay with the links that were on the Atlas 6x6, and it's really proving to be kind of a challenge. So I'm hoping this works and I can kind of move on from here and do a drive. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to try to get the tires on. I'll get you back on here if I get any more issues. But I've had nothing but issues up until this point. So kind of expecting more problems, but hoping that I don't get any more. So upon putting together the 6x6 with the Scx24 axles, I was originally just going to do the ones in the rear, and I ran into a problem. So I kind of explained that now, so anybody doing this will hopefully not make the same mistake. Alright, so as you see here, I'm fitting a Scx24 axle. I took off the servo mounted or the axle mounted servo tray. I'll save this for later because they do come in handy. Instead, I replaced it with a 3D printed one. Should hold up just fine for what I needed to do. There's a decent amount of stress over there, but it's not like something that this thing couldn't handle. So basically what I had here is I had switch tires, because as you can see, there's barely any gap over here. Over here it looks like they're touching a little bit, but it's where the axle kind of shifts a little bit. So it's actually just barely not touching when it's on the ground. So whatever. We'll deal with that later. Probably going to have to get some shorter links for, I'd say, this set right here, I do believe. We'll look at that later, though. So what had happened was, when we put everything together, the transmission is a FuriTech, I think it's Alcatraz or whatever, and they're counter-rotating transmission driveline. So it reduces torque twist, and I remember buying it for that reason, along with the fact that it's FuriTech, supposed to be so great, blah, blah, blah. But I did forget about that. So what had happened was, these wheels here were turning forward while the other one was turning in reverse. So that's not going to work. So I fitted the Scx24s, which I do like these axle designs. They're really good anyway. but I was just trying to mix it up a little bit here and keep some of the old mixed in with the Scx24s. But obviously, if I have to switch to these are, in my opinion, far superior than the other ones, just because of the crawlability that I'm looking to attain. Now, your specific setup, maybe you like ring and pinion better and you don't want the worm gear, but me personally, I like the worm gear. I think it does a fantastic job. Having said all that, I am going to keep the old axles here. There's nothing wrong with them. And I have a set of 6 tires here that are the RC 4-wheel drive mudslingers. I do like these, but these are quite a bit bigger than the other ones that I'm using. I'll show you. Alright, so there's the size difference there. I just got it kind of laying up there on the one side and bringing it over. It comes over quite a bit. So when you got 2 of them doubled up there, that's obviously going to hit. So that's going to come over like that, and then the other one would come over just the same as well. So even though these are great tires, these pins should do what I want it to do as well anyway, because I mostly crawl on the rocks with these. And I can always go back to these with the other axles and stuff, because these are great tires. I like the look of the rim and everything. It just gives it that kind of older look. These rims here I also like. But yeah, we're mixing it up a little bit here, trying to get the truck running better, because it still has a little bit of that stutter and stuff there, and I believe these axles will solve that. So that's the main goal. I still don't like all this loose stuff here, but I've already explained why that is there. You know, I got a screw up here that I can't get out right now, so we're going to leave it in for now. And eventually I'll change those out too, but for now it'll be okay. I don't think that's what's causing my problem, but you know, process of elimination here. So we're going to try the hard part first, and then if that doesn't work, we'll move on to other things. Alright, so there she is. We got the Scx24 axles all mounted around. I got the wheelbase somewhat straightened out. Everything works as it should. And as you can see, I got a nice slow crawl without the hesitation, which is what I wanted. It's still got a little bit of a jumpy thing there, but I might have some binding or something going on. Show you some of the things that I don't like. So just kind of standing up here like this. This shaft here is pretty short. I mean, it's barely held in there. And I really don't like all this slop. But like I said, I'm going to have to deal with it until I come up with a better alternative. Now, everything's still kind of stiff. I know that a lot of the shock placement and stuff like that is going to wear in a little bit. So I'm kind of leaving it for now. Some of these things here I had to put washers and stuff behind, like these guys up here. They got like bigger collars and things like that, just to make everything kind of fit. We're going to work on better placement and better stuff, you know, as we go on with the project. So I'll come back to this project from time to time and we'll kind of work on it. But just show you what I'm talking about here. So this isn't very fast, and as you can see, you can tell that this shaft right here is just going nuts. Let's go reverse. I mean, just look at all the slop there. Does it work? Yes, it works. This shaft up here is moving around quite a bit, but you know, again, it works. This one up here is actually the most stable. I do have a little bit of clicking going on up here, but I've always somewhat had some clicking. You know, it's just, I think it's just the design of the truck. So I have I think this is the Lizard Pro. I have a 3S, I believe that's what that is. If you can see that. To ADC 11.1, yeah, that has to be 3S. So that's what I'm running in here right now. And it's a Komodo. What's the number on this one here? 2204, which is the 1400 kV. It's got the Alcatraz transmission. I really liked this setup when I first got it, but I started getting a whole lot of binding and stuff with this. I don't know 100% what that's all about. I still haven't found it. Every time I change anything, it kind of goes away and comes back and blah, blah, blah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it the way it is now and kind of just see where everything's at. Now I got a little bit more buttoning up to do on this, so I'm going to do the running part of it in another video. That way I'm not making it too long, but these tires here, I like the tread on them. I would obviously prefer these, but I don't think that everything's going to fit properly if I put the big meats back on there. So I'm going to leave them off for now, kind of see how it works and stuff anyway. Maybe we'll try to throw them back on there later or whatever, but this is where you move your axles or whatever, your wheels, whatever you call that whole setup right there. I still have another hole placement I could go, so I know I could fit those tires back on there. The biggest challenge right now is the shaft, and it's a piece of crap. I don't like it. I don't want it there. I got to look for an alternative. Even if I find a plastic Scx24 one, I'm going to be shoving it in there, but I have tons of Scx24 parts. I've got tons hanging up over there on the shelf, but guess what I don't have? That's the one damn thing I don't have. So, yeah, I'll just have to get some and kind of go on from there. But I didn't want to put this out there too much longer because it's already been a hell of a long time getting back to this truck. I've been waiting on parts and all this other crap here. These axles, these are Endura. Or see, these two are Endura. This is a plastic one. But I do have metal upgrade for this one here, should I choose to do it. And I kind of just said, I don't care really for right now because it's kind of mismatchy anyway. Eventually I'll probably do it because I really like this truck. But having said all that, I will really want the black smoke looking center drive shafts on there eventually. But I gotta probably take this thing out, drill it out, and all that other jazz, and that just takes a really long time. It's taken me a long time to get this far on this anyway, because like I said, parts and life and everything else, I got tons of other projects, so I didn't want to hold it out too much longer. This is the current state of it, and it is so much better than what it was before. Now I'll bring you up close to it so you can hear the click. So it does still have a little bit of a click to it, and I don't know what that is. It's always kind of had something similar. I mean, as you can see, I'm pushing this thing all around, and I do not get any more of the cogging that I was getting before. Does that mean that it won't cog at all? Yeah, probably not. This thing has done that many, many times. It'll fix itself, you know, with whatever I'm doing. So I'm sure a lot of the things are slop and stuff like that, but getting parts for this is kind of hard for what I want to do with it. So this is kind of where it's going to have to sit for now. I think those axles are going to do a tremendous job for what I want, and we'll just kind of play around and get some better shafts, and we'll go through it one at a time. But I do want to get this thing out here instead of messing with it on the bench all day long. We're going to make another video with that, see how good or bad it does with the current state that it sits in, and kind of go from there. So again, I know it's been a really long time with this specific video, but it's one that I think I don't want to drag out any longer. I think I just want to do one with everything kind of installed. I'm just kind of showing it off. I'm not really showing the install process. It's pretty simple, guys. Just swap out axles. I'm basically just trying stuff and seeing what fits and works, and that's really my process. There's no trick to it. So I don't see the sense in putting all that boring stuff on there. I'd much rather tell you about what problems that I've run into and show you what I've done. Next video, we'll actually get it out and see if the capabilities improved, got worse, if we still got clicking and cogging and all that kind of jazz. So we'll do that in another video. And like I said, just don't want to make this one too long. Any questions or whatever on what I've done so far, just post it down below. I'd be happy to help because I've learned a whole lot on this truck, but I'm sure there's a lot more to learn. And it seems like every time I dive into it, there's 15 other things that I didn't know that I run into. So, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, I'll catch you on the next one, guys. And I'm going to get this out and get it on the rocker real soon.
Work all day, most of the night.